day 5 of my London holiday video blogs, in which I bought lots of records and saw the last of the Divine Comedy gigs. Ahoy hoy everybody, it's pretty early on Monday morning, but I want to get this recorded before I head home. I'm speaking down a bit because it's 7 and I don't know if there's anybody in the room next door. So apologies if my voice is a bit quiet and subdued. I'm sure as we go on I'll forget and raise my voice. But yes, last day in London, as promised in my last video, headed for Shoreditch. Went to Flashback Records, bought some records there, but then headed down Brick Lane and found lots more places I could buy records. So that's basically what the bulk of this video is going to be, me showing records I bought, which will please a lot of you, I'm sure. So yes, first I went to Flashback, having been to the Islington branch on Saturday, and it was very similar but different. The building itself, it was narrower than the Islington branch, but it went back further. But then the basement was smaller than Islington. So the way they had it arranged in Shoreditch was new vinyl on the left as you went in. On the right was pre-loved. New arrivals, rock and pop A to Z with subcategories for specific artists. But then that went into... what did it go into? Basically everything, all the subcategories apart from funk, soul, dance, hip hop, jazz. Pretty much everything else was upstairs. Then, downstairs was the rest of the pre-loved, the categories I just mentioned, plus singles. And then sort of the back half of the upstairs was CDs, and then the counter, and then there was a counter downstairs as well. So I looked through the pre-loved, spotted a few things that I wanted. Wasn't quite sure how it worked, being on the 2 levels, because a lot of, in fact all of the records I think, the records aren't in the sleeves. So in my head the logical thing was that the stuff that was upstairs, the records were kept upstairs, the stuff that was downstairs was kept downstairs. So I thought, well, I'll see if there's anything I want downstairs. Went down, and there wasn't. They had a lot of the same sort of subcategories as Islington. They had a Prince subcategory. It contained the Get Off 12-inch single, and that was it. So there was nothing I wanted downstairs. So I went back up and quickly went through again and found the stuff that I'd earmarked and took it to the counter upstairs. He said, "Oh, you need to take those downstairs." So I could have just grabbed what I wanted first time round and then taken them down with me, but no problem. Handed them. There was 3 guys behind the counter, one of whom, first time I was downstairs, was clearly a customer. But he took the records off me and started finding them, and it quickly became apparent that he used to work there, but doesn't anymore. But obviously, is still on really good terms with everyone, really friendly, loves being there. And he likes to keep his hand in, so he found the records for me, and then one of the other guys rang him up. But this is what I picked up from there. He very kindly, no extra charge, without prompting or anything, gave me a Flashback tote bag, which came in very handy. A typically Martin eclectic little mix here for £9.99. This is the German language version of Peter Gabriel's Security album. So it is literally all the songs sung in German, and it was £9.99. So I thought, yeah, go for that. 180 gram vinyl, Heartbeat remaster. Includes high-res download code. I bet it doesn't. No, it doesn't, but that doesn't bother me at all. But you know, even the lyrics on the inner sleeve are in German. I lied. I take that back. It does have the download code. He did offer for me to check them, but I trusted them, and rightly so. This is near mint. I mean, they've LP within a very good plus. EU's 2016 reissue. But yeah, for a tenner, I thought that was a bargain. And you know, I like the quirkiness of having the German album as well. Next is an album I've basically just been waiting to find, but knew I would pick up when I did. It's not, you know, ideally, and I still may pick up a more original repress, or will become clear. But a strong, very good. This is marked as 1975 reissue of the 1999 Ogden's Nut Gone Flake by the Small Faces. So yeah, I'd like one in a round sleeve one day, but until then, this will do. Charlie Records. Yes, yeah, very light markings. Nothing that's going to affect sound or play. Then, if you may remember, a couple of bits of housekeeping from yesterday's video. Both connected with when I was in Islington. First of all, they had an Oxfam music and books shop there, so I went in there. Nothing there, obviously, otherwise I would have shown it. But they had quite a few CDs, which I did go through. Just realised I've got a big spot or something there. It's dirty London for you, causing that. That's my excuse. Yeah, I had quite a few CDs, which I did go through, but there's nothing that I wanted. And vinyl, you know what they had? What do they have? They had 3 top shelf of a section. They had 3, probably about 15 or so albums in each. About 2 dozen 7-inch singles, and then 2 little racks of about 5 12 inches. But there's, again, nothing in there that I wanted. And also another bit of celeb spotting, yes, well, but I should have mentioned in yesterday's video, in Islington, chatting to somebody, was a moustached but very definite Jack Gleeson, who plays Joffrey in Game of Thrones, or played, rather, who I have met before, so I wasn't bothered about interrupting him or anything like that, not that I would have, but it was definitely Jack Gleeson. Anyway, back to yesterday. Back to Flashback Shoreditch. They had the soundtrack section. They didn't have a separate John Barry Bond section, so I thought, oh no. But then when I went through the soundtrack section, they had 5 Bond soundtracks. 3 of which I already had, but 2 I didn't. So I picked up. So first up, these are both from the 1987 25th anniversary reissue campaign. First up is From Russia with Love, which I only have on cassette, so I'm glad to have a copy I can listen to now. Sleeve is excellent. They classed it as very good plus. And I should imagine, you know, soundtracks don't get played a huge amount, even by a collector. Yeah, that's pretty mint. That was $11.99. I can't remember if I said that. So, also for $11.99, again, class very good plus. Live and Let Die. which I have on CD, but don't have on vinyl. Obviously this is done by George Martin. John Barry did From Russia with Love. Yep, again, pretty much mint. And also in the soundtrack section was this little curiosity. So this is E.T., the extraterrestrial. I believe what this actually is sort of the story. It's got the soundtrack as part of, but it's narrated by Michael Jackson and produced by Quincy Jones. $14.99, very good plus, with a poster and booklet and inner. So I've sort of been aware of the existence of this, but never seen it out and about. I thought 15 quid was a decent price for it. I haven't checked, but it all looks in very good condition. The box is a bit tattered, but all this stuff looks good. Yeah, so this is sort of like a read-along. Yeah, storybook album. Yeah, so there's a song, presumably sung by Michael. And then, yeah, sort of a read-along, what happens. Lots of pictures from the film. So this booklet's in excellent condition. And then the album. Staticky, so it's got a couple of animal hairs stuck to it by the looks of it. Some very light marking, but nothing major. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to listen to. So that's what I picked up in Flashback. So what was it? 15, 27, 39, 59, 69 pounds. Bar the odd pence. So I headed into Brick Lane after that just to have a look, really, to see what it was about. And there are lots of little sort of sub-market, sort of market stalls all down Brick Lane, plus all the shops. But then every now and then, either to the left or the right, there was a little enclosed market or sub-market or various other markety bits. And the first one of those I went into, the very first stall, as I went in, loads of vinyl. Ooh! So there's a few CDs at the start, and straight away my eye was drawn. Not that I needed either of these, but they had the CD single of Betcha by Golly Wow by Prince, and the album on CD of 3121, which was in terrible condition, and he wanted a fiver for, but which is ridiculous because I mean I picked up a copy for £1. It was practically mint, but I sent as a competition prize to Ruby. Then there were some 7-inch singles, so I flicked through them and I picked up a title, which I'll show you in a second. Then moved on to the albums, which are all subcategorised and what have you, and it quickly became apparent that 95% of the stock were bootleg reissues. They're all on coloured vinyl or marbled vinyl or what have you, and they're all marked as reissues, but they're all, you know, coloured vinyl versions of Beatles albums and things like that, which of course never had official releases in that form. You know, Please Please Me on marbled vinyl is not a real issue, and you know, and if it had been, wouldn't be 20 quid, if you see what I mean. So there was an occasional real album sort of dotted in amongst them, but it was quickly apparent to me that I would not be buying anything else from his stall other than the single that I picked up. This was £6. I haven't checked to see if that's a good price, but I was happy to pay £6 for it. This is Hanging Around by Me Me Me. So this is one of my favourite Britpop songs. It's a sort of supergroup. It's Stephen Tintin Duffy, Alex James from Blur, and Justin, can't remember his surname, from Elastica. Formed Me Me Me, and this was their only release, unfortunately, because as I say, I absolutely love it. I have this on CD single, but as soon as I saw that, I thought, I'm having that. So it comes in a nice little gatefold, definitely original. I was a bit concerned, but as I left the store, that this might have been a bootleg, but no, this is definitely original. So yeah, really happy to pick that one up. Wandered a bit more and then found another market area, and about halfway through that one there was a little stall again selling vinyl. Seemed to specialise, although they did have some rock and pop, seemed to specialise in funk and soul, and picked up 2 titles from him, both of which were a tenner. There's a couple others I contemplated but were a bit more than I wanted to spend on them. But first up was Graham Central Station's first album, which I do have on CD, but this is a fantastic album. Is this their first album? No, it's the second album. I lied. Ain't No About to Doubt It. Yeah, second album. This has got The Jam on it. It's alright. Cover of I Can't Stand the Rain. It Ain't Nothing But a Warner Brothers Party. Old Smokey. Oh, it's all good stuff. It's got the original lyric inner. Not an inner, but insert. And on Warner Brothers Burbank tree-lined label, whatever the official name is, lots of light marking, but nothing. Just shows it's been well played, but nothing which should affect play. But yeah, really happy to have picked that one up. I did then see it on a later stall where it was £8, but yeah, for the sake of £2, you can guarantee if I hadn't picked it up from the first stall, I wouldn't have seen it anywhere else. And then the second one, that was my first bit of Ohio Players. This is Skin Tight. So I know Skin Tight because Prince covered it basically. Again, very good plus, was it? Something Marks plays excellent. Light Marks plays excellent. I was going to say it feels like a reissue, but it might just be that it was released with a glossy cover. Something Patterson Doe. Very, I don't know if it's going to show up on camera. Yeah, so indented signature across there. Somebody's obviously lent on the record to write their name. One of their slightly more respectable covers. Not the original in there. On Mercury. Yeah, it feels like an original. Yeah, lots of light marks on it. But it says it plays excellent, so hopefully it does. Morris Patterson Doe. Or War. Morris Patterson War, I reckon that says. I've got your record. So yeah, looking forward to experiencing this. And then I thought, oh well, I've spent enough. I'll head back home. And as I left the enclosed market area where that store was, I'm walking back the way I came, and I see on the right London's biggest vinyl sale, 10,000 titles plus, with an arrow pointing to a door to a vintage market that was below the one I'd just been in, that all the signs read as if it was just clothing, so I didn't bother going down in. So I thought, oh, went down there and there's another sign saying vinyl sale and a big arrow. So again, I've followed that, went down, and there, right in front of us, was a massive vinyl stall. And I can't remember what it was called. It was vinyl something. But there was just loads of records. I mean, I probably looked through about half of them, and it was really busy as well. It was sort of a double size market stall, if you like, and it had out sort of in the front there was classic albums, funk and soul, then a gap for you to go in, then 3 racks of classic albums, then another 3, which I think were the bargain. A lot of it was bargain, £5 or 5 for 20. Yeah, then a way to go in, then where you paid, which also had singles. But then inside was sort of a square with 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 bins full of records on either section, plus underneath loads more of these £5 ones. So most of the £5 ones I didn't go through. I went through a couple and they were all reasonable titles, but nothing spectacular, you know, like 6 copies of one Eagles album, and in fact I think it was the Eagles' Greatest Hits album, and, you know, Simply Red and stuff like that. It was stuff that's not worthless but isn't worth getting unless you're particularly looking for something particular by a particular artist who might be in that category, if that makes sense. Anyway, but I looked through all the soul and funk, all the classic albums, soundtracks, and that was about it really, but it was about half of it I looked through. Had a little chat with, there was a man and the lady running the stall, and the lady spotted my Sign of the Times t-shirt and said, oh, did you see that Prince title on the wall there? And it was the Versace Experience release, and I said, yeah, I've got that. And then we had a little chat about various Prince releases. But yeah, picked up 1, 2, 3, 4 titles from there. So in the soundtracks, there was no price on it, so I correctly assumed that must mean it was a £5. But the soundtrack to the film Scandal. So this is one of my favourite films, Scandal, all about the Profumo affair. Sleeves coming apart a bit, but it was a £5. But I've always loved the music in it. It's got, sleeves coming apart a lot actually, but that'll glue if I want to. Yeah, it's got Nothing Has Been Proved by Dusty Springfield, written by Pet Shop Boys, which was sort of a theme to the film. But then it's just full of great songs from the early 60s. Apache by The Shadows, What Do You Want by Adam Faith, Lazy Hazy Crazy Days of Summer by Nat King Cole, Only 16, Craig Douglas, The Twist, Chubby Checker, 3 Steps to Heaven, Eddie Cochran, My Kind of Girl, Matt Monro, a little bit of reggae, Goodness Gracious Me by Peter Sellers and Sophie Loren, Frank Ifield, I Remember You, Billy J. Kramer, Do You Want to Know a Secret, Johnny Remember Me, John Layton. Spotted going through it. Running Bear isn't on it, which does feature in the film, and it's a track I'm particularly partial to. Sort of watermarks, very light marking on it. That's fine. Now, it's possible that I might want, found this album slightly cheaper elsewhere, but, I haven't seen it in the 3 years or so I've been seriously collecting. And I am a firm believer that if it's something you want, grab it when you see it. As long as it's, within your budget. This is the Kinks Controversy for my Kinks collection, which I was adamant I had, but I haven't. This is one of the new reissues. In fact, by the looks of it, this has come from a mono box set that's been split up. This is £15, which I thought was fine for a practically new release. There is a scratch down that side. Hopefully won't affect play, because I can't take it back because I won't be here. It needs a good clean. Other than that, a couple of fingerprints. Yeah, mildly concerned. I don't know if that's going to show up even. I mean, can you feel it? This is always a good indicator. I've lost it now. Where's it gone? Oh, there. Yeah, you can't feel it, so hopefully it'll be fine. Let's just... No, you can't see it on camera. I mean, it was very manic, so it wasn't really a good place to check records. And the lighting wasn't great there either, so it obviously works to their advantage if they are dodgy. And another Kinks one. This is proper pre-loved, if you like. It was an original release, same price, £15, which again might be a bit steep, but it was there. I've got a feeling that I assumed I had this one last time I was in Sounds in Southsea and didn't grab it, so I'm sure I've seen that cover in the flesh. But this is give the people what they want. Dog hairs, dirty, but can't see any scratching at all on that one. Yeah, I mean, it's probably only really a £10 album, if that, but as I say, London Premium, and grab it while you can. But the one I was most pleased to find, hoping now that it's alright when I look at it, was this, Maceo Parker's Soul Food, Cooking with Maceo. So Maceo Parker, saxophonist, worked with James Brown, worked with Funkadelic. This, actually, this is sealed, so this is going to be fine, I would imagine. So this is his album from 2020. Oh, is it that late? Okay. Maceo worked with Prince in the sort of early to mid noughties, and they've remained great friends. And on here, the final track is a cover of Prince's song Other Side of a Pillow. So happy to have found this. It's an album I sort of knew existed and knew it had. As soon as I saw it, I thought, I'm sure that's the one with the Prince cover on, and sure enough. But never got round to getting. But it's on. Also, it's on orange vinyl, and it's got a download card. Yep. Very nice. So I'm assuming it's not so easy to check on coloured vinyl. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, that's for £15. Bit of a bargain actually, that one. Yeah, I'm off on that one. Yeah, they had a few of the Prince reissues. A couple of copies of Versace, Chaos and Disorder. I think there might be one more. And they were all only 15 quid each. I don't know if they were sealed or not. But again, reasonable pricing on those. So I thought, right, that really is it. I really have spent enough. So I started walking back down along the road, and one of the market stalls that I'd walked behind was actually a vinyl stall. And I thought, oh, I can't not look. So this was, ignore the 99p stores carrier bag that they gave me the records in. So this is, they haven't got a name, but that's just a little flyer for them. So it was all, nothing was sort of bagged. And none of it's in sort of fantastic conditions sleeve-wise. Oh, maybe one or two. But I was sort of working my way around, and I'd done sort of 2/3 of it and hadn't found anything I wanted. And I thought, oh, I don't like walking away from places without buying stuff. But then, last third, I found 6 titles, I think it is. So first up for my Melanie collection is Garden in the City. One of hers I don't have. It's meant to have a scratch or rub gently to release the magic of Melanie's garden. And yeah, it is still a faint smell actually. And this is on Buddha Records, as all her stuff is. Yeah, actually, it's in really good nick. Bit of a clean, one light mark, but nothing bad at all. And this was £4. So always, you know, the conditions of the sleeves. So they're not, you know, terrible, but they're just where they've not been protected. They're just a little bit tatty. What was I saying? Yeah, you know, the condition of the sleeves combined with the prices made me think they wouldn't be great quality, but one down. For my Beach Boys collection, this is Keeping the Summer Alive. Don't think this is one of their better albums. But again, original inner. I was going to say sleeve, I don't mean sleeve. Poly-lined inner on Caribou. It's pretty minty, actually. This was £6. And then in all the rest of them, Soul and Funk. Yes, all Prince related. So for £5, this is Day by Day by Najee. I might hate this, basically. So Najee is a saxophonist who worked with Prince around the same time Asher Parker did, actually. They sort of used to interchange on the same tour. They play different nights. Najee joined the band a bit earlier. He started around 1999-ish. He's, from sort of what I've heard of him, he's a bit too sort of Kenny G, easy listening jazz type sax for me. But I thought for £5 I'd give this a go. Needs a clean, definitely, and there's some funny markings. Can you see? No. At the end of side 2, so just before the run out groove, There's lots of light. Again, you can't feel them, so it might be alright. Might just get a bit noisy. But it's almost like scuffs. Yeah. We shall see. But yeah, it's only a £5 and thought I'd give it a go. This is for £7, which, given the condition of a sleeve, might be a bit much. But I've never seen any of his solo albums out in the wild. This is Morris Day's Daydreaming. So Morris Day, lead singer of The Time. Sort of the baddie, if you like, in Purple Rain. This has got Fishnet on it. And Love Is a Game, both of which were produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, also from The Time. But yeah, this has obviously got water damage at some point. The sleeve's got that texture to it, and as you can see, it's lost some of its artwork. Yeah, you can see on the back there's sort of a tide mark, and then on the inner you can see, but it is a poly-lined original inner sleeve. Did I show you on that side? I think I did. Vinyl, couple of light marks, but nothing. Possibly one that might affect play a little bit. We shall see. My player's fairly forgiving, so hopefully we'll be alright. For £5, still in the shrink, we have Stephanie Mills's album Merciless. That was once owned by Elaine, apparently. This has got her cover of Prince's How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore on. I was going to say no inner, there isn't inner, it's just the record's not in it. Oh, it is, it's just falling apart. So I do have her cover on a CD, a couple of CDs I think, and it might be on The Many Faces of Prince vinyl that I've got. Yeah, okay. Religious stuff on the sleeve. One quite big scratch. May or may not affect play, but it's not on How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore is the most important thing. It's pretty much the only reason I bought this. And then finally, when you go in, oh, because it's cut out, there we go. Yeah, finally is Just Like That by Brown Mark. This was only £3. So Brown Mark was the bass player in The Revolution. He then went on to have a couple of solo albums and to produce for other acts as well. This hasn't got an inner, which is probably why it's only £3. I have one of his other solo albums on CD. I didn't have this one. On Motown, very dusty, light markings. Again, possibly a couple that might affect play, but we shall see. Once I've cleaned it, I'll stick it in an inner. I don't think there's any Prince involvement in this at all. There was in the other one, which is why I bought it. No, although Miko Weaver, who was Prince's guitarist, does appear on one of the tracks. But yeah, for £3, Prince related title. So yeah, that really was it. Headed back. Because I didn't go out till late, it was now sort of timings wise was funny. It was I knew that I'd only have about hour to hour and a half back here if I headed straight back, so I couldn't really stop anywhere to eat because obviously I wanted to get back and shower and change ready for the gig. So what I did is there's a pizza place between the tubes and here, so I stopped in there and picked up a pizza on my way back and ate a pizza. Very nice pizza actually. Here just a cheese and tomato, but very, very pleasant. Yeah, we got changed and headed to the Barbican for the final gig of the run. So night 5, albums 9 and 10, Bangos of Knighthood and Foreverland. There was lots of jokes through the night because there's an 11th album, Office Politics, and we're going to play Office Politics, and basically said, to be honest, the only reason we haven't done Office Politics is because when all this was arranged 3 years ago, we were still in the process of touring Office Politics, so we figured that we didn't need to do Office Politics again. If we'd have known, we'd have done another night and done Office Politics, which is a double album, so they could have easily, spread it for a full evening. But a couple of times he said, well, we'll just have to record another album, make it a nice even 12, and do it again with Office Politics. I don't think he will, to be honest. I mean, he'll definitely record another album. He mentioned that many times through the night. But I don't think we're going to get another run of these shows. It took a lot out of him, and he's still got Paris to do. But yeah, an emotional night. We had an added bonus. His girlfriend of many years, Kathy Davey, appeared on a number of tracks. On the original albums, she did backing vocals on a few tracks on Bangos of Knighthood, and most of Foreverland is about her. She duets properly on one track and does backing vocals on a few, so she came and went through the evening to extend the band even further. But yeah, Bang is an album that I largely dismissed when it was first came out, but having listened to it a fair number of times over the last year or so, it has grown considerably on me, and I've really enjoyed the performance of it last night. And Foreverland is an album I already liked a hell of a lot, and it didn't disappoint. Lots of those tracks I had, as I mentioned, have heard live, because I saw 2 dates, one on each leg of a Foreverland tour, so a lot of the tracks were played live on those 2 legs. But again, hearing especially, there's quite a few of those songs, quite a strong orchestral presence, so hearing them with the strings, etc., was really good. Yeah, very emotional night. As it was drawing to a close and it became apparent it was all over, Neil was getting, he was tired and emotional because he worked his way through the best part of a bottle of red wine. So he was getting emotional at points about it all, and a few times I was welling up. We had an extended encore. We had 3 tracks, and we also had a massive thank you speech, basically, from Neil, thanking everybody involved, presenting some flowers to Andrew Skeet, who, as well as being the keyboard and piano player, did all the arrangements for the whole 5 nights. Neil sort of had the easy job. He just had to sing it. But, his band were extraordinary, playing lots of different instruments each, and, really making it all come alive. So, yeah, massive thank you speech from Neil. But, so we had, what did we have? Oh, so the first encore track, they repeated the new full-length version of My Lovely Horse. Then we had Generation Sex. Then the Thank Yous. And then it ended on Tonight We Fly again. And then, you know, of all the other gigs, the band have sort of, you know, got up and sort of bowed where they were and walked off. But it was proper, you know, all linked up company bows, if you like, at the end. But yes, it was quite emotional but wonderful. And I'm just so happy that I did this. Well, my feet aren't at the moment, but you know, I've enjoyed every day what I've done during the day. Even, you know, the couple of days I didn't do that much, I still enjoyed, for one reason or another. But the gigs have been absolutely fantastic, and yeah, if I could, but I really can't for multiple reasons, I'd be going to Paris in a couple of weeks and watching them do it all over again, because they were just 5 of the best gigs I've ever seen, basically. But yes, I may take some footage on the way home. Basically, if you're hearing this, I have. So that will follow. If I feel the need to do a voiceover, I will. But if not, it will just be not unedited. I might edit it, but just raw footage, if you like, of some of the journey home. Since some of you found the journey here interesting, hopefully I'll be able to sort of show you the view from the other side. Okay, so this is leaving Victoria Coach Station. So this is sort of a reverse of what you saw on the first video. So we're coming out, just the station just on your right there. This footage between what I've shot is quite long, so if you're not interested, just skip forward until you can see me again. But yeah, here we are heading out. So, is it one of these shops? If you look on the right, no, it's on a bit, but there's 2 dogs start attacking each other without realising there's a big glass door in between the 2 of them. I'll try and point it out as we approach it. Here we go, on the right, people walking the dog. I think it's them. Maybe not. Maybe it's a bit further on. Yeah, it is further on. Ignore that. Here we go. Stupid animals. So yeah, this is all Pimlico. Come out of it there. And the building on the right here is the Royal Chelsea Hospital, where all the Chelsea pensioners are. I presume this is all the gardens for the hospital. I'm not entirely certain. Yeah, we're coming up to the bridge now. You can see Battersea Power Station there at the front, the two chimneys. Obviously famous for the Pink Floyd album cover. So yeah, so there's the River Thames. I'll spin my camera around here, I seem to recall, to show the other view. Yeah, that's the city. But yeah, this is basically where I stopped filming that bit. And now we've got the approach into Portsmouth. This is quite long, I warn you. So this is coming out. We've just dropped some people off at the international... what's the word I'm looking for? Cruise port thing. Intercontinental... something port is called, but I can't remember what it is. But it's basically where all the cruise ships and big cargo ships go from through Portsmouth Harbour. So we're coming out of there. I seem to recall we're stuck at this traffic lights for a while. That, believe it or not, is a lock and store self-storage place. Here we go. The bridge is the M275, the main motorway into Pompey. So on the leaving video, that's roughly where I cut it off. I was heading out of there. Here we swing round to roundabout. Hitting all the red lights, sod's law. Here we go, pull up. Yeah, so it's a roundabout here, heading in the other direction, but I cut off. Going. So the dockyard that we've just left is on the right. There. It's the end of the motorway. So there's two roads into Pompey. That was me, half saying Portsmouth, half saying Pompey. There's two roads going in. This is sort of the main road off the motorway. But because Portsmouth is the only island city in the UK, There are restricted routes in. So now we're heading towards the city centre. So there used to be a big cinema on the right here. That's long gone. Instead we've got a petrol station and a Sainsbury's. All these shops used to be full, now they're all empty. Same as most cities, of course. So directly in front now, where you'll see McDonald's and what have you, that's the start of Commercial Road. The main shopping road in Portsmouth. And from roughly here on in, pretty much everything you'll see on the right for quite a while is all connected with the dockyard and the Navy. This is all Navy. Just see a cannon in between the road sign and the banner there. Come on, lights. If you hadn't hit all these red lights, this video would have been half as long. Here we go. So now we're onto the main road down to the harbour. This is the road I used to travel every day when I went to school, as I mentioned on my outgoing video. That's HMS Nelson. Bit more of a residential area now. Coming up. See the tower block. Now we're getting to the section that's been done up a bit in the last few years. All this is new. And now we come up to the historic dockyard on the right, home to the Mary Rose, HMS Victory and HMS Warrior. You'll see Warrior in a moment. Fortunately the coach goes in a bit of a funny route nowadays. Well, I mean everybody does. The road priority has changed. There's Warrior in front. We'll see it better in a minute. You'll be sick of the sight of it in a minute. There's the Spinnaker Tower at Commonwealth Quays. And there's Gosport directly in front. So yeah, there's Warrior. There's the Spinnaker Tower. And here's me getting ready to get off. So now I'm on the back of a ferry. We're just leaving to head over to Gosport. So there is HMS Warrior, Britain's first ironclad warship, I believe is the correct description of it. Did once go on a tour of it, not long after it was brought in. Not really my bag. I find it difficult to get excited about boats because I know how they work. Airplanes are magic, and fill me with wonder, but boats, I can understand the science behind it. So I don't get too excited, plus living by the sea. You sort of get sick of the sight of them. But yes, that's leaving the pontoon at Pompey. So yeah, as I said before, I used to make this trip there and back every day when I went to school throughout my secondary school and sixth form. So you can see on the left there, a naval aircraft carrier it looks like in dock. On the right here, you just see the Spinnaker Tower. In a minute you will. Not quite yet. There we go, there's the Spinnaker. Back the other way, there's the aircraft carrier. And you can just see what looks like a frigate being escorted out. Might not be a frigate, it's a bit small for a frigate actually. But it was definitely a naval ship. You'll see a building in a second with a Union flag on it, he says. I think I've managed to catch it. Yeah, you should have just be able to see it on Matt's little sweep there. That was the building done for Ben Ainsley's America's Cup bid, where they built the boat. So now we're over to Gosport side. Just approaching the pontoon. And that's about it. But yeah, for those of you who have watched all of these, I mean, you've had, 2.5, 3, well, coming up for 4 hours worth of content in 5 days. Thank you. Thank you for watching. You're mad for watching it, but thank you. Glad you found them interesting. I should have another final haul video in a couple of days for when I go out with Craig Huntley, although I'm rapidly running out of money, so they shouldn't be massive. But we'll see anyway. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on another video. Thanks. Bye.